First, let's push the car back into the shop, so we can add the new jigs directly on the car. Let's build a double horizontal jig. We will assemble it completely and then add it to the bench. For this jig, we need a tower MZ260 and a piston P310. For the piston head, we will need a rotatory body type A, that we can already assemble with the piston and the tower. We bolt the body onto the piston. Next, we will need an FB2 plate with an axe A, and 2 pairs of ADZ plus HVB sockets to hold the screws in place. Now we can insert the axe A into the body A. We bolt it down. Bolt the FB2 plate onto the axe A. And attach the 2 ADZ plus HVB onto the FB2 plate. We can now adjust the jig settings. Let's slide a pin in the first hole from the top in the tower and in the hole M in the piston. For the body A, we input an angle of -40. For the axe A, we input an angle of 75.2. We adjust the bottom point at 68.2 millimeters. And the top point at 14.4 millimeters. Let's now add the jig to the bench. This jig is using a TV plate, so let's add it to the bench. Place the sliding block. Adjust the slider's value. Bolt the tower onto the sliding block. And we can now bolt the screw and screw stopper HM and VB into the holes. Let's now add the 2 additional vertical jigs. Point 45, sliding block, tower, and socket. Point 46, sliding block, tower, and socket. Let's build the single horizontal jig, jig number 51. We will need a tower MZ260, a piston P220, for the piston head, we use a rotatory body type A, that we can already assemble with the piston and the tower. We bolt the body onto the piston. Next, we use an FB1 plate and an axe A. And to secure the bolt, we use a ADZ and HVB socket. Place the axe A into the body A. Bolt them together. Bolt the FB1 plate onto the axe A, making sure that the FB1 points toward the letter A on the axe A, and secure the ADZ and HVB onto the FB1 plate. Now let's adjust the jig. We slide the pin in the second hole from the top in the tower and in the hole G in the piston. For the rotatory body, we input an angle of -40. For the axe A, we input an angle of 0. And the ADZ offset on the FB1 plate is 7.5 mm. We can now add this tower to the configuration. First, let's place the crossmember. Then place and adjust the sliding block. And bolt the tower on top of the sliding block. And we can now bolt the screw and screw stopper HM and VB into the hole. Let's build an angle jig with rotatory body and axe 60. We will use a tower MZ140 and a piston P100. For the tower head, we use a rotatory body type B. We bolt the body B to the piston. For the angle, we use a axe 60 type B. A height adapter AD05. A socket UV11 and a VB screw stopper. Let's finish to build the jig. We insert the axe 60 into the body B. Bolt them together. We bolt the height adapter onto the axe 60 from the side where the B is written. And finally, we add the UV socket. Let's now adjust the jig. For the body B, we input an angle of 0. For the axe 60 type B, we input an angle of 4.2. and for the height adapter, an offset of 6.5 mm. We can now place the jig onto the bench. First, add the cross member. Place and adjust the sliding block. Place the tower. Slide the piston up and put the pin in the first hole from the top in the tower and the C hole in the piston. You can now use the screw and screw stopper HM and VB to bolt the jig to the car. Let's build an angle jig with a Cube 60 and ANC 90. For this jig, we will need a tower MZ80, a piston P100, and for the piston head, a Cube 60 and ANC 90. Let's bolt the cube onto the piston. And the ANC 90 onto the cube, making sure to be on the right side of the cube. Next, we add a height adapter AD05, a socket UV11 and a VB screw stopper. We input an angle of -16.8 in the ANC 90. And a height offset of 14 mm. We can now add this jig to the bench. Place and adjust the sliding block. Place the tower. And slide a pin in the first hole from the top in the tower and the B hole in the piston. Finally, you can use the HM screw and VB screw stopper to bolt the jig in place. We've seen how to operate 4 kinds of angle jigs. You should now be able to use FB2 double horizontal jig, FB1 single horizontal jig, AX60 angle jig, and ANC90 angle jig.